Hello and welcome back to Women Without Children, Own Your Story. I'm Tracey Swainson. This is my friend Chantal Vanderhaeghen, and together we are coming together today to speak to you about body image. How does body image affect you? What are your thoughts on it? Where are you in life? And how is your body image supporting you? Chantal?
Oh, it's such a big question. It is such a big question. I realized when we decided we'd talk about this, I realized body image felt for me, it was not just about being childless in my case and not having that, but it was also actually from childhood in addition, how I felt of being a girl, how I wanted to always be a boy because being brought up with a part European family, and in Europe, boys were always favored. And then what happened for me in the household. So body image is a big one on so many levels, isn't it? To actually sit and dissect. And then only really a few years ago did I actually start wanting to heal my body, and particularly my womb space, from not even having a child or not even falling pregnant. I didn't even realize I could do that. I didn't realize how bereft and empty I felt. And I didn't realize how disconnected I still was from my body. So that was a really interesting experience for me. Because let's face it, we are biologically here to procreate. That is what we are actually here for. And, you know, yes, we can choose to have children nowadays. We have all these options, but our bodies are made for that. You know, we grow into these beautiful young women. We no longer celebrate being a beautiful young woman, getting our first periods or menstruating. We don't honor that whole process. You know, we don't honor becoming the young woman into motherhood because we get so busy, we're so caught up doing. Then we don't also honor when we finally finish, when we go into the next stage of being the Marga woman and the crone or the wise woman or the elder, whatever you want to call it. And I realized how disconnected we are so much from our bodies. It becomes a pain to have our periods. And a lot of us experience painful periods. And I really believe because that's a lot of the stress that we live under. But I also believe because we no longer have the rituals to honor our bodies. We just pretend it's not happening. You know, oh God, here it is again. Oh, you know, I wanted to go to the pool, or I wanted to travel, or I want to do this, or I've got to get to work. You know, there's the whole time. Rather than, wow, you know, here it is again. So
Exactly. I think I can relate on some level in that I was a tomboy. I love climbing trees. I would rather hang out with the boys, running around, doing stuff like that, playing pirates and all that stuff. That was my thing. I love to do it. But I agree. One thing that I do mourn at my age now, in that I was not connected to my body in that way, like not consciously connected to my body as far as my periods and tuning into my body through the moon cycles and all that wisdom that I'm only just learning in the past few years. Yes. That so many women are doing now. And I'm just like, man, if I had only known about that, that could have taken so much of the stress and the grief away. To know that I was in tune with nature and trusting the rhythms of Mother Earth and my own body and all of that, as well as multiple miscarriages. I hated my period, and I was so glad to be done with it. I was so glad for me personally, because for me, that was the end. I knew I wasn't going to get pregnant again. I didn't have to go through that process anymore. And so I had that journey to go through. I will say that I did, when I stopped having my period and started coming into menopause, I created a ceremony for myself. And I literally went into my backyard. I wrote a long letter to my younger self, the early years, and then welcoming the woman that was coming through in the next years to come. I created a circle in my backyard with rocks and crystals, and I stepped into it, and I energetically invited. My mom was working at the time, and my grandmothers have passed. So I just energetically invited in my female ancestry to step into the circle with me. And I just stood there and just stood in that space and allowed to come through whatever wanted to come through. Then I went and dug a hole and I lit my letter on fire and let it burn. And then I planted a sunflower in its place. So I had already a sunflower that had grown. And so I just planted it in its place. And for me, that was a beautiful representation for the remainder of the season, that I am shining bright and that I am stepping forward into something new, standing tall like the bright sunflowers do.
Beautiful.
But yeah, it's something that I love to see the younger women who are mothers now, who are really in tune with their own bodies and conscious of their cycles and the gift that they will give to their daughters. It's such a blessing to see so many women stepping into that space. It's all.
Look, I agree with you, and but I'm also seeing the other side where women are having their babies and plastic surgery at the same time to,
there is that side,
to get that perfect body back. So, it's interesting how we're seeing both happening, and right or wrong, I personally don't agree with it. I wouldn't do that, but it's just interesting how we still need to have the perfect body. We're still trying to achieve something instead of honoring that birth. And I suppose for me, because I haven't had children, I still see it as a privilege and an honor. And that, to have had a child, for my body to have gone through that. Then, of course, you hear of all the things that can happen to your body. Obviously, I haven't had that experience. So it's still creating this romance around it. And yeah, so I find that interesting. But what I love about what you've done, and I didn't do it that way, and perhaps it's giving me an idea. I think what I love about your work and who you are is about bringing rituals back. You did something, it never occurred to me, but what I did start doing a few years ago, someone recommended creating a triangle and popping that on my womb area. So going down into my womb line, because I do Reiki anyhow and meditation. So I lay on in my special space. I've got a beautiful rug that the Tibetan monks had blessed, that my mother had gifted me. And it's got this most beautiful energy in my special space overlooking the bush, because we live in such a lovely area of nature. And I just used to either sit there or lie there, put my hand, as I said, around my womb area and just feel what came up. Wow. I had no idea the darkness in there, the heaviness, the emptiness I felt so barren. But then I realized it was also a representation of how I'd felt a lot of my life, was that loneliness, deep within loneliness. So I'd kept myself busy all the time and active to feel safe. Because I lived in different countries. Dad, unfortunately, had a difficult childhood. So I just kept being busy. So it kept me here thinking. And so I just saw my periods, as we said before, as a pain in the backside, because it stopped me. And also the other thing that I want to honor with this too, but I also saw my bleeding as tears. It was a constant reminder every month I hadn't fallen pregnant.
Yes.
And that was, it didn't matter that I was with a man or not, but every month that went by meant another month of not having fallen pregnant. So I do have that every month. Has these tears, and often there were silent tears or this sadness around. So instead of what we're saying is embracing that monthly thing, the gift that it actually is for us women, the possibilities. So there's an emptiness and a fullness. I didn't actually see that, so that I needed to grieve that time that I didn't understand fully. Like I read The Red Tent many years ago, and the one thing that stuck out was for how the women all came together in a tent in moss, and they bled together and they shared stories and all that. We don't. You can't tell anyone you've got your period. You go to work and you pretend when you're completely doubling up in pain and you can't see properly and you've got a foggy head and all you want to do is smash someone's face in. And you're working in a very male environment, so they don't understand emotions. But I can always remember one story when I was working at a company, it was an elevator company, but they maintained our mining villages, and I was the head girl in the office, and we had, some mine sites here in WA, but it was obviously male dominant because they're the tradesmen and that. But they got to know me so well that in the end I said, if you value your life, don't come near me for the next couple of days, you know. So I just did that because I needed to do something. And the guys were so sweet to me, you know, around that time. I said, just stay away. Clear, you know. So in the end, I did that because I needed to do something to still honor me.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and
Good.
what I was going through. So yeah, so and anyhow, I could go on.
I know there's just so much to it, but I can relate to the tears, the monthly tears. Yeah, there's just so much to it. And then just honoring where I'm at now, my body image now. I am in menopause now. And so there have been changes. I've gained weight.
Yes.
Like I have never in my life, I never dreamed that I would be where I am right now. And it's so disheartening. And learning to love myself through it.
Exactly. I was just going to say, did you hear what you said? It is disheartening. So again, we're so automatically going back into, it's disheartening.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't what I was. I'm not what I was. So again, this isn't that a powerful, just here, we just did it. We do it because I was thinking like you. Oh my God, I've like you gained weight. My body's changed. My hips have widened.
Yes.
My delightful mother goes, oh, haven't you changed when I was 39? Thanks, Mum. Just what I needed to hear. No.
Yes. Oh, so many things. Yeah. My grandmother used to say, oh, are you pregnant? I was like, I wish. Like, you have no idea. You have no idea what I've been through. But bless her soul, it was her way.
It is her way. But I think, again, it's coming back to those platitudes.
Yeah.
It's coming back to also people's discomfort. And I think it's also possibly with our mothers and grandmothers too, it's their desire, like, or women, it's their desire for us to have children.
Of course. Yeah.
So I think there's that, but I didn't always hear it as that. I just felt like, oh no, another hit me again, another wound,
Same.
another reminder, you know, not happening. Yeah, it's powerful. Yeah, and then
is.
I don't know, because I went into early menopause and they said part of that was stress. And what was I going to say when I went into early menopause? Yes, I was so relieved, like you not to, because the last few years of my time with my periods, and I'd gone into early menopause, I remember thinking, please God, just stop them, because there's no point to them now. So you see, I went, no point to them now, rather than going, it's a blessing and it's a privilege or it's a divine or whatever it is to still have them. So the day they stopped, all I did was go, yoo-hoo. So I celebrated it. But celebrate it from a point of view, not having them, rather than, oh, I'm now stepping into, So it's interesting, isn't it, how this happens? So I'm doing it like you did. I'm doing it more retrospectively than you are, that honoring my body and the changes. And I'm like you. I mean, I just can't shift that weight around my tummy. Yeah. But that's also partly the hormones, from what I gather, as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and our bodies do change shape, and that's just, why don't we embrace and love that?
And that's where I just, I really wish that we could have more of those red tent experiences, you know, where the mothers teach the daughters and the grandmothers teach, and bless you as you step into the different situations, and we can all come together, excuse me, supporting each other in whatever that space is that we are in, because it's a natural cycle, and life is a natural cycle, and all of that. Within those red tent experiences, it must have been so healing to have that space to be held together.
I think it's,
to be able to talk it through and understand where you're at. And
yes, and celebratory as well.
Yes, yeah.
Like you said,
I'm sure there were many rituals within that space, you know, honoring the young girls as they were coming in, and then honoring the middle-aged women as they were moving into the next stage of life, the pregnancies and the losses and all of that. I can imagine that there were many blessings and rituals within those spaces.
I agree. And also honoring your body, because I know for me, I did get endometriosis, so that didn't help. Fortunately, it was not too serious, but enough. So But what and also my body used to get very tired at the time, but because of the way we are in this world of working and going into the office and in the patriarchy, we didn't have time off. Because I always remember my brother, he said, well, when you work, now you've got your own business, you could do that. But you know what was interesting? I heard him, but I still couldn't do it because I still had to do. I couldn't take 2 days off just to allow my body to be. I kept going. So even though he's made the most logical observation, well, you can do that now. I couldn't get from here to here. Oh no, I've still got to keep going. That's not something I can do. Plus, I didn't really still know how to honor my body. If I had my time again, of course, I'd go, yay. You know, I can clear my diary. I can clear the decks. In hindsight, that's right. I can go and do all those lovely things that we talk about, you know. So very different now. But I think age comes with that. Wisdom comes with that. You know, it's easy to look back. And that's why I love the conversations we have together. Because, ladies, Tracey and I chat a lot before and we chat a lot after. You only get a glimpse of a little bit here. But I think it's powerful that we do this. And love to hear your comments, lady. Love for you to share. Start talking. Because this is what we're wanting, is for us women to really learn to... Something I learned, the difference between love and like. I can love all of me, but I don't need to like parts of me. Mm-hmm. And I like that. And when I was doing my Gestalt therapy training, and it kept coming back recently, there was this American trainer who'd come out, and he was short, had an ego and a certain syndrome that I won't mention on recording. And I remember watching him working with all the different students and thinking, I don't like you, because he came in like this. And I thought, oh, because I was feeling sensitive and tender and all that sort of stuff. Anyhow, my turn came, and I just turned around and said to him, I actually don't like you, and I don't like how you operate, so I don't know how we're going to work together. I was like, oh, how could I have said? But anyhow, out it came. Do you know what? He respected me so much that he actually we both lay on the floor, and he looked at me and he said, do you like chocolate cake? I said, yes. Do you like the whole lot? Yes. But do you like the ingredients? Do you like eggs, raw eggs? No. Flour? No. Butter? No. And it was such an image that he worked with me. Yes. And then he and I had brilliant work with him after that, because I think he just respected the fact that I just said, I don't like how you work. I don't feel safe, not comfortable. Yeah. But he took me into that space of, wow. So ladies, think it might not be a chocolate cake for you, but he just asked, that's my favorite. I love chocolate. Is how can you see your body? So when I look at ourselves here, what is it I love about myself? So ladies, you're watching, or Tracey, let's just sit here for a moment and just go, what is it that I love about myself? Just tuning in, and you might not find anything at the moment, but I just want you to start taking your breath, your focus into your body. And something I learned is take it to one part of the body that you actually like. And for me at the time, it was my feet. And just really sit with that part of the body that you really love and like. And then slowly, and obviously we're not going to have a lot of time here, but slowly I want you to start allowing that energy that you're feeling then, that part of your body. So what I did is I slowly then took it out to different parts of my body. So we'll just do that slowly now. That beautiful energy. You might like to bring in your favorite color. And just using your breath for this to go all the way through your body. Until now, I want you to sit fully bathed with love, your color, and this energy. Feeling whole, divine, honoring each part, this beautiful body of yours in all its divinity. Take one beautiful deep breath, opening your eyes and just coming back. And if anyone wishes to share, Only if you feel called to, because it can be quite confronting doing that. But that's a little exercise you can keep doing and just expand on it, because that's what I did, to the point where it was in an Ayurvedic book that actually got you to sit in front of the mirror naked. That took me a while. Because the other thing I hear too with women, and I suppose I did it too, even when they're married, been married for years, they still wear their nightdress to get in and out of bed. You know, there's still this sense of, I can't show my body even in privacy. You know, often we can't even do it for ourselves, walk around naked. You know, we cover. And all we're doing is hurting ourselves. Because we have this thing about perfection. And I know we're sort of coming perhaps towards the end, but my partner and I were watching a program on TikTok the other night. I think we mentioned it to you. And again, how they interviewed some women about body image and what it's doing, because on there, they've actually been discriminatory. Don't put anyone ugly on there, or disabilities, POC. So these young girls are going in there seeing only beautiful women, all their dance moves and their thises, and then they're bringing in the foods to eat. And some of them have developed serious eating habits or dysmorphia and things like that. And I thought, wow, how sad is that? And it's taking them now months to undo that. So what's happening in our society, now I can see I'm getting on my hobby horse. And that's why this conversation is so powerful, Tracey. So thank you for doing it that we're doing it together. Is to start, no, come on, ladies, come on, women, let's just come back into ourselves. Yes. Love ourselves, love our girls, love each other. Doesn't mean we like each other, no. Just start loving ourselves for women and our bodies. Anyhow, I'll get off my soap opera box.
That was perfect. That is a perfect way to end. And yeah, I think the more of us that can come into that place of empowerment, of just really honoring our bodies, no matter the size, no matter the condition, no matter, you know, what may be illness may be in our body, if we can come to that place of just honoring it for who it is, what it is, and how it serves us, there'll be so much less judgment in the world as women towards women, because if we're honoring ourselves, then we're going to honor those around us.
That's right. That's exactly right. And I think, though, at the same time, what I realized is I like to think I'm not judgmental, but I can still judge, not only myself and others. So I think there's a realism here too, that can still happen. I think it's what I then do with that judgment, within or without. Do I share it or not? This might be, oh, I might see that, okay, I'm judging, stop, you know, because it's only doing harm. As you said, it's a vibration that I don't want to carry within me and then share out with the world. But that takes a while to get to. But I think realistically, I can still judge.
Yep. Oh, I have to agree. And even with myself, I was just thinking, you know, if I have my partner take photos of me, he can't post any of them until I take a look at them all.
Just in case.
So yeah, there's that self-judgment that's right there.
That's
away,
right.
No matter what.
That's exactly right. And like, you know, we're saying, I wouldn't see what you're seeing anyhow. That's the whole irony. Like, hello.
Yeah, but we always think that there will be. So
yeah. Okay. What cards are you going to draw today,
okay.
Tracey? What are you drawing
today's card is Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light. And the card that came out is to trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do?
Okay.
So I think I'll just leave it at that. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So just feel into that and allow that to settle in your body after this conversation. It's a beautiful way to end. So thank you all. Thank you for being a part of our conversation once again. If you enjoyed this, we'd love if you would subscribe. We have links to how you can reach us below. And we look forward to our next conversation together.
We do. Thank you, Tracey. Thank you, ladies. Bye.